Hey everyone, thank you so much for pre-ordering Think Like a Monk. It's been my absolute focus for the whole last year, the whole last 12 months, and I cannot wait to share it with each and every single one of you. This book is truly my best work and is full of timeless wisdom that can change your life today. The book is a perfect juxtaposition between ancient wisdom, modern science, and practical application. So when you're reading the book, you're going to hear about stories and experiences that I had living as a monk. You're going to hear from these timeless literatures about what they have to say about the mind, love and relationships, and our lives full of negativity and toxicity today, and how we can overcome them. I use tons of factual behavioral science to help showcase how these ancient methods and practices were actually built in reality and how they have a transformational impact on our lives today. And you'll get my practical tips. As always, I'm focusing on how can you truly live this mindset today? How can you truly build this ability to think like a monk today? And how can it help you in today's busy, hectic life? I know that this book is going to have a big impact on your life and whoever you decide to share it with. And this is what we're going to do today. What I'm going to share with you today are 4 life lessons from my favorite monks. I could have taken 40 or 400 lessons, but I wanted to select my favorite ones that I believe will make a huge impact in your life if you start practicing it. The first monk is Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Zen master, global spiritual leader, poet, and peace activist, revered around the world for his pioneering teachings on mindfulness, global ethics, and peace. He has been a monk since 16 years old, so knows a little about how to think like a monk. I'm going to start with one of my favorite teachings from Thich Nhat Hanh. Listen to this. He said, "People have a hard time letting go of their suffering. Out of a fear of the unknown, they prefer suffering that is familiar." How many times have you not moved forward because you're scared? You fear change, it feels uncomfortable. But we're already in pain. We're just scared of new pain. It's like if you cut yourself, but you're scared of the pain of stitches. Stitches will hurt as well, but leaving the wound open will hurt more. There are 3 principles that I want to share with you today that can bring this Thich Nhat Hanh teaching into life, and how we can start practicing it right now. You don't even need to wait for the book until you get it. But the book will, of course, go deeper into this and give you so much more information and insight. But I want to give you some steps today. The first thing we have to do is recognize that pain is natural. Pain is normal. Pain exists when we're just sitting around, and pain exists when we're moving and trying new things, and pain exists in all forms. Pain comes in 3 different types. Pain that's caused by ourselves, pain that's caused by others, and pain that's caused by things that happen in the world that are totally outside of ourselves. These are all of the natural challenges that we all come across in life, and they have something in common. No one wants them, but no one can avoid them. So when we realize that pain is natural, and that all we're doing in life is being okay, opening up ourselves to different types of pain, being okay with the fact that we may need a different type of pain to let go of the pain we currently have. That process is so important. A second ago, I shared with you my analogy about a wound. When you cut yourself, it hurts. And you're scared of stitches because you think they'll hurt more, but actually, those stitches make the pain better. So pain is natural. It's a natural, normal part of life, and we've tried to denormalize it. We've tried to get rid of it in our lives. We try and avoid it so much, but we forget that it's a natural step. It's a natural thing that we all have to experience. So first, let's accept that pain is something that will come in and out of our lives. When it comes in, let's not be shocked. When it leaves, let's not be complacent. We know that life will continue to bring painful scenarios, whether it's through our own dealings with ourselves, through people's dealings with us, or things that happen in the world outside of us. So we can always remain prepared. We can always be ready. When you know something's going to happen, when you know something may happen, the smartest thing to do is prepare and be ready and not be shocked or surprised by it. The second lesson we have to remember is everything is changing. So don't try to stay the same. Everything around us is changing. Our body's changing, our mind is changing, everything in our life is changing. So when we try and keep everything the same, we're actually going against the grain of the universe. If you look at everything in the universe, it's consistently changing. You look at the cycles, right? Seasons are constantly changing. The weather is constantly changing, and it has a pattern, right? There is a pattern there. And as you start to notice the pattern, you become more normalized by the fact that when it comes to winter, you're going to need to wear a coat. When it comes to the summer, you need to get your sunglasses out and your sunscreen on. We start noticing these patterns and we adapt. We don't try and stay the same. We don't say, I'm going to wear the same clothes I wore in the winter as I do in the summer. I'm going to wear the same things I wore in the spring as I do in autumn. We adapt. We change. We grow. Listen to this carefully. Don't try to avoid change. Your skin cells change every 2 to 4 weeks. Your liver changes every 1 to 2 years. Your bone cells change every decade. Everything is changing, so must you. Right? This is something that I so deeply believe in. And this is how we learn to start practicing, by changing our attitudes, by recognizing that if something is always evolving, so can we. Now, here's a practical step. I would like you to think of something that has changed but improved your life. It could have been an unexpected change, a surprising change, a change that you didn't see coming, but it's positively improved your life. And I want you to take a few moments after you've watched this video to really reflect on that. A change that you initially saw as negative, but that change brought about great fortune and great joy in your life. I promise you there's something, and I want you to push to really find it. And the third and final lesson we need to do is we need to make the switch to gratitude. Gratitude is the perfect state shifter. We have between 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. How many of you know what that feels like? And guess what? Of all of those, 80% are usually negative. Gratitude allows us to shift out of the negative states, because when you're present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. It can drastically improve your mood, help you see things with perspective, and find focus. If you're looking for a pill that can change your mood, it's gratitude. You can't think negative and positive thoughts at the same time. So when you're in gratitude, when you're present in gratitude, you can't be anywhere else. Just as you can't be in two places at the same time, your mind can't be in a positive and a negative place at the same time. So when we shift into gratitude, we put ourselves into a natural positive state where we can't be affected by that negativity and toxicity. In the book, I will teach you the practices and tips to move through the pain by getting closer to it. I will share with you the gratitude practices that will help you break down your mindset that is anti-fear. Now, our second teacher is the Dalai Lama. We've all heard of the Dalai Lama. I don't need to tell you much about him, but this is one of my favorite teachings. Don't let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. How many of you feel that your environments are negative or toxic? Maybe at home, maybe at work, maybe your family, maybe your friends. All of us are surrounded by negativity and toxicity so much in our lives. And this holds us back, right? It pulls us down. So what can we do about this? So again, for the Dalai Lama teaching, I want to give you 3 ways of making it a reality. How do you really stop letting the behavior of others destroy your inner peace, right? Like, it sounds complicated. It's like, well, how do I do that? The first thing we have to realize is inner peace is based on an inner space, right? Inner peace comes from you choosing to be peaceful, not by being given peace by others. So we don't let the behavior of others destroy our inner peace. It means we first have to cultivate inner peace ourselves. How do we do that? One of my favorite ways is to have a practice or a habit every single day that gives you peace. It could be listening to a particular song. It could be reading a page of your favorite book. It could be listening to a particular podcast. A simple habit that you can do every day that gives you peace. Literally just before we were doing this video, my videographer today was setting up this space and he was listening to Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Right? That's what he was listening to. I think it gave him a sense of peace. It gave him a sense of calm while he was setting up. It could be as simple as that. Something like listening to a song on the way to work, making sure that your alarm tone in the morning is a peaceful sound. Whatever helps you find that inner peace, it has to be a habit that you cultivate. The second lesson, to make sure that the behavior of others don't destroy your inner peace, is that you choose to surround yourself with others who don't agitate your mind. You choose to build a community of people around you that aren't going to try and destroy your peace through their behaviors. Actually, they're going to enhance it. Actually, they're going to help you grow it. That's something that you really want to try and find. So what I'd love for you to do is just think of 3 people in your life that give you more energy than they take away. Right? 3 people in your life right now. Go, just close your eyes. Think of 3 people. Who are the 3 people that come to your mind that give you energy more than they take away? And ask yourself, who is it in your life that you give energy to? Who is it in your life that you provide peace to? Because remember, the more you're giving it and receiving it, the stronger it gets for you. And the third way to not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace is recognize that their behavior should not be taken personally. Recognize and reflect that someone's behavior is more of a reflection of them than how they feel about you. I've been writing recently, and one of the things I wrote was, stop taking rejection so personally, stop taking failure so fatally, stop taking feedback so critically, and stop taking offenses so literally. And we let other people's energy destroy our inner peace. But we have to realize they've got their own minds, their own challenges, their own issues that they're dealing with and healing through. So don't let that make you feel worse. Don't make that be a reflection of you. The third monk that I've had the joy of interviewing and meeting is Matthew Ricard. He said, one is not born wise, one becomes it. The Dalai Lama said, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. Sometimes we feel we're just not good enough. We think we're insignificant. We think that it's not possible for us. We feel that we don't have a chance. We feel we're not as skilled as others. We're not as powerful as others. We're not significant enough to make a change. How many times have you ever experienced that? Confidence comes from recognizing our strengths. When I looked up confidence in the English dictionary, it blew my mind. And I want to share that definition with you now. Listen to this. Confidence is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Listen to that for a moment. Confidence is appreciating your own abilities and qualities. Confidence doesn't come from someone else appreciating your qualities and abilities. Confidence doesn't come from pretending to have qualities and abilities. Confidence doesn't come from faking you have potential and abilities. It comes from recognizing and appreciating your own. So here's 3 lessons of how I want you to do that. I want you to list 3 strengths you have. Be honest with yourself. It may even be awkward at first because you may think, oh wow, this is egotistic or narcissistic, but it isn't. As long as it is genuinely a strength you have. It could have been something you've been working on for years, something that other people notice in you a lot as an indication. But list 3 strengths that you feel you have. The second principle is ask people what positive impact you have on them. Don't ask them what's one of my strengths, just ask them what positive impact have I had on you? What difference do I make in your life? This will help you unearth sometimes the hidden meaning behind the impact you have on other people. And try and make it 3 people from different places. So 1 from work, 1 from family, and 1 from friends. Don't just ask only your family because, your mom and your grandma will just say nice things. Don't just ask everyone from work because there may be some real feedback there. But ask 1 person from work, 1 person from your family, and 1 person from your friend group. That will help you get a 360-degree view of who you are and your life. And the third and final principle for this one is go and serve more and see what comes out. When you serve more, you will find more strength in yourself than you can ever imagine. You will uncover so many dynamic strengths through service that you would never experience if you were only trying to do things at work or in your social life. And the fourth and final monk that I've learned so much from is Radhanath Swami. He said, to the degree we have love and harmony in our heart, to that degree we can give it to others. The way we speak to ourselves is often terrible. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to others. We would never say them to people we love. We wouldn't even say them to people we hate. We have to develop that self-love, and it starts with these 3 steps. The first step is stop using negative words with yourself. Whenever you see that negative vocabulary coming out, start making a mental note, write down that word, and try and consciously, intentionally remove it from your vocabulary. The more we say things like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't do this, wow, you're such a fool, you're so embarrassing. When we talk to ourselves like that, it just becomes a habit and a conditioned pattern. Just start removing that from your vocabulary. The second is start being honest with yourself. We have to be honest about what we need to work on, our weaknesses, our emotional intelligence, and we need to be honest with ourselves about our strengths and about the goodness that we have. And the third is we have to go and seek what we're missing. If you're feeling unloved, you have to find and create that love for yourself by doing one thing a day that you truly love. Just as we had one habit that brings you peace, you have to find that one habit every day that brings you love. It may be affirmations, repeating to yourself your strengths, your confidence, your love for yourself. It could be doing an activity that brings you joy every day, whether that's cooking or baking or gardening, something that you love doing. We need to do more of what we love. Even if we can't do it all day, we can do it a little more. These are just 4 simple messages from 4 of my favorite monks and 3 lessons on each as to how to bring it into your life. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you will be sharing that you've pre-ordered the book with everyone across social media. Tell your friends that you've pre-ordered the book. I hope that they will join in as well, because when you'll read this together, when we build a community around this book is not just a book, it's a community, it's a movement, it's a group of us making a conscious commitment to ourselves and to each other that we want to be change makers in the world. That if we learn to think like monks, we can train our minds for peace and purpose every day. And don't we know it? How many of us don't want more peace every day? And how many of us don't want more purpose every day? Each and every one of us is seeking peace and purpose. And when we find it, we can give it to everyone else as well. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for you to receive the book. And more importantly, I hope I'm going to see you when I visit your city or a city near you. I can't wait to meet each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. Think like a monk.